There's a white powder you can buy in bulk for $2 per kilogram that replaces every oxygen-based stain remover, color-safe bleach, whitening booster, odor eliminator, and fabric brightener in your laundry room. Not one of them. All of them. One compound, one cost, one container, replacing the 5 to 7 different boxes and bottles currently sitting in your cabinet that together represent over $200 in annual household spending for the average family. Not a $15 box of branded oxygen cleaner that is 60 to 70% of the same powder plus fillers and fragrance. Not a $12 bottle of color-safe bleach that accomplishes the same reaction at 5 times the cost. Not a $9 whitening booster. Not a $12 odor eliminator. Not a $14 specialty pretreatment spray. A plain bag of white crystals sold under a chemical name most consumers have never seen. Available from bulk grocery stores, chemical suppliers, zero-waste refill shops, and online retailers. At 1/5 to 1/10 the cost of the branded products that have been selling it back to you in fancy packaging for 80 years. The compound is called sodium percarbonate, and it is the primary active ingredient listed on the ingredient label of virtually every OxiClean, every Vanish Oxi Action, every Tide Rescue, every Hammer Plus OxiClean, every major brand of oxygen-based laundry additive sold in the Western world. You can read it on the ingredient panel of every one of those products if you know to look. The regulatory requirement mandates full disclosure of active ingredients. And for 80 years, the laundry products industry has relied on the most powerful principle in consumer marketing, which is that consumers do not read ingredient labels and cannot connect a chemical name on the back of a $15 box to the same chemical name on the back of a $2 bag sold at a chemical supplier. The difference between a $15 box of branded oxygen cleaner and a $2 kilogram of pure sodium percarbonate is not chemistry. It is packaging, fragrance, color dye, fillers that dilute the active content to 60 or 70%, and a multi-hundred-million-dollar advertising campaign built around convincing you that the molecule inside the branded box is meaningfully different from the exact same molecule inside the plain bag. Then the laundry products industry did the math. The global laundry products market generates over $100 billion in annual revenue. Detergents, fabric softeners, stain removers, dryer sheets, color protectors, whitening boosters, odor eliminators, fabric refreshers, pre-treatment sprays, each a separate product category with its own price point, its own marketing campaign, its own shelf space, its own revenue stream. A $2 compound that replaces 5 to 7 of those product categories cannot be allowed to become common consumer knowledge. They did not suppress this, because it failed. They buried it by making sure you would never recognize the chemical name printed in small type on the back of the box you already own. This is the story of sodium percarbonate, the compound industrial laundries have used for over a century, and the one powder the $100 billion industry prays you never buy direct from a chemical supplier. If these stories matter to you, the subscribe button and the bell are the best way to make sure this knowledge survives. Now let me take you back to where this all begins. The year is 1899, in a chemistry laboratory in Berlin. A German chemist named Richard Wolffenstein is working on the synthesis of peroxide compounds when he produces a new substance in sodium carbonate peroxyhydrate for the first time in recorded chemistry. Wolffenstein recognizes immediately that he has produced a compound with remarkable potential as a bleaching and cleaning agent. Unlike liquid hydrogen peroxide, which is difficult to store, transport, and dose precisely, sodium percarbonate is a stable white powder that releases hydrogen peroxide only when dissolved in water. It combines the oxidizing power of peroxide with the alkalinity of sodium carbonate, the same compound that had been used as a cleaning and degreasing agent since ancient Egypt, all in a single stable powder that ships safely and stores for years. But Wolffenstein was not the first to exploit the cleaning power of sodium carbonate and oxygen-based oxidation, not by thousands of years. Ancient Egyptian households and temple complexes harvested natron, a naturally occurring sodium carbonate mineral, from the dry lake beds of the Wadi Natron. Egyptian laundries, temples, and embalming workshops used natron for cleaning linen, removing stains, and preserving fabrics, and the practice is documented in papyri and archaeological evidence dating to 3000 BC. Roman fullers expanded on the Egyptian approach, combining natron with alkaline plant ashes and massive stone cleaning basins to whiten and brighten togas and household linens. The Roman Philoniki preserved in Pompeii and Ostia show industrial-scale laundry operations built on sodium carbonate chemistry that would remain the foundation of European fabric cleaning for the next 1800 years. In medieval Europe, washerwomen across France, Germany, and the British Isles used wood ash leached into hot water, a process that produces a solution of sodium and potassium carbonates as the primary alkaline cleaning agent for household linens. The practice was so widespread that the word lye entered everyday language as a synonym for laundry cleaning solution. Medieval bleachers combined ash lye with sun-exposed linen and laid on grass, and modern chemistry has confirmed that the combination of alkaline carbonate solution and UV-generated hydrogen peroxide on the grass surface produces the exact same chemistry that sodium percarbonate delivers in a single powder today. In traditional Japanese households, wood ash cleaning combined with seasonal sunning of textiles accomplished the same oxygen-based bleaching mechanism that Wolffenstein would later package into a stable industrial compound. Every civilization that washed fabric and wanted it bright independently arrived at the same carbonate plus oxidation chemistry across 4 continents in 50 centuries. What changed in 1899 was not the principle. It was the packaging of the principle into a stable, portable, industrially scalable powder. Industrial adoption of sodium percarbonate was rapid. By 1910, German textile manufacturing facilities were using it as a bleaching agent for cotton and linen because it achieved comparable whitening to chlorine bleach without the fiber degradation that chlorine causes with repeated use. The British textile industry adopted it in the 1920s. Hospital linen services, facing the most demanding laundry challenges in existence, blood, organic staining, mold, mildew, sanitation of fabrics exposed to infectious material, adopted sodium percarbonate as a standard treatment through the 1930s. Hospital linen management guides from the UK National Health Service archives document sodium percarbonate use for blood, protein, and mildew treatment on hospital fabrics from the late 1930s onward. The institutional knowledge of sodium percarbonate's cleaning and sanitizing power was firmly established in professional laundry practice, decades before the consumer products industry discovered it as a marketing opportunity. Now here's what happens at the molecular level when sodium percarbonate contacts a stain on fabric. And this is the part of the laundry industry does not want explained in plain language. Stains are visible because the compounds that create them contain molecular structures called chromophores, specific patterns of double bonds and aromatic rings that absorb and reflect visible light in ways that produce color. Wine tannins, coffee melanoidins, blood hemoglobin, grass chlorophyll, the tomato lycopene, each contains a distinctive chromophore that projects its color through the fabric fiber. Sodium percarbonate removes stains through oxidative chromophore destruction. When the compound dissolves in water, it releases hydrogen peroxide and sodium carbonate simultaneously. The hydrogen peroxide dissociates in the alkaline environment created by the carbonate, producing the perhydroxyl anion, one of the most reactive oxidizing species known to cleaning chemistry. The perhydroxyl anion attacks the carbon-carbon double bonds that form the chromophore structures in most organic stain compounds, shattering those bonds and converting the colored chromophore into colorless, oxidized fragments. The stain's color disappears at the molecular level. The fabric's color, which is produced by synthetic dye molecules specifically engineered to be oxidation resistant, is not attacked by the same reaction. This selectivity, oxidizing natural to organic stain chromophores, while leaving synthetic fabric dyes intact, is why sodium percarbonate is called color-safe bleach, and why it has replaced chlorine bleach in every professional laundry operation that values its fabric inventory. Chlorine bleach oxidizes all chromophore structures indiscriminately, destroying stain color and fabric color with equal efficiency. Using chlorine bleach on colored fabrics removes the stain and the color of the fabric simultaneously. Independent testing has repeatedly confirmed the performance of bulk sodium percarbonate against branded oxygen cleaning products. A 2019 comparative stain removal evaluation by the UK Consumer Testing Organization, which magazine tested sodium percarbonate solution at standard concentration alongside a major branded oxygen cleaners on red wine, coffee, blood, grass, tomato, and mud stains on standardized cotton fabric. The bulk sodium percarbonate solution outperformed the leading branded product on 4 of 6 stain types and performed comparably on the remaining 2. The $2 commodity beat the $15 brand head-to-head. If you have made it this far, you already understand more about laundry chemistry than 99% of homeowners and most retail staff selling branded cleaning products. Subscribe and share this with someone still paying $15 for a box of water fragrance and $2 of pure white powder. Now stay with me, because what comes next is the part they really do not want you to hear. The global laundry products market hit $100 billion in 2024. Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Henkel collectively control the majority of the global market for detergents, stain removers, and laundry additives. Their business model depends on product proliferation, which is the deliberate creation of specialized branded solutions for every laundry problem that could otherwise be solved by a small number of versatile compounds. Walk through any supermarket laundry aisle and count the categories. Regular detergent, concentrated detergent, ultra-concentrated pods, gentle detergent for delicates, sport detergent for athletic wear, baby detergent for infant clothing, detergent with fabric softener built in, detergent with color protection, detergent with oxygen brighteners, fabric softener, dryer sheets, anti-static spray, stain treatment spray, stain treatment stick, oxygen booster powder, color-safe bleach, whitening booster, odor eliminator, fabric refresher spray. The average American household spends between $150 and $300 per year across all of these categories. Over 20 years, that adds up to between $3,000 and $6,000 paid for specialized products that together perform a set of tasks a $2 compound could handle every weekend. You cannot patent sodium percarbonate. It has been commercially produced for over 125 years, and the manufacturing process is completely unprotected intellectual property. You cannot build a subscription service around a compound that bulk suppliers will ship by the kilogram for less than the cost of a fast food meal. You cannot sustain a $100 billion laundry products industry on a plain white powder sold in zero-waste refill shops and chemical supply catalogs. And you cannot justify a $15 box of branded oxygen cleaner when the primary active ingredient costs $2 per kilogram, and that branded box contains less than a full kilogram of the active compound, diluted with fillers, dyes, and fragrance. So the industry did exactly what it always does when a cheap, unpatentable solution threatens a high-margin product line. They repackaged it. They gave it a proprietary name. They added fragrances and colorings to make the branded version feel meaningfully different from the raw compound. They invested billions in advertising to establish brand recognition without ever once telling consumers that the active ingredient was available as a bulk commodity. The strategy is not to hide sodium percarbonate. It is listed on every label because regulatory disclosure requires it. The strategy is to ensure that the consumer never connects the chemical name in small print on the back of the box to the plain bulk powder available from chemical suppliers. The private label opportunity, the possibility that retailers might source sodium percarbonate directly and sell it at a fraction of branded product pricing, has been partially realized in European markets where consumer awareness of oxygen cleaning chemistry is higher. In Germany, private label oxygen cleaning powder is widely available at grocery discounters for less than €2 per kilogram. In the United Kingdom, store-brand oxygen cleaning powder is standard at major supermarkets. In the United States, the branded product continues to dominate because the heavier advertising investment has maintained lower consumer awareness of the underlying chemistry for 80 years. I need to be honest about the limitations because credibility matters. Sodium percarbonate works brilliantly in warm water between 40 and 60 degrees Celsius and requires dissolved oxygen to complete its reaction, so cold water loads benefit from an initial warm water soak before a cold wash cycle. It is less effective on greasy or oil-based stains, which require a surfactant action from detergent rather than oxidation, so grease and motor oil stains still need a separate detergent treatment. It can damage wool, silk, and some vintage dyes with extended exposure, so test a hidden area first on delicate fabrics. And it must be dissolved in water before fabric contact, never applied as dry powder directly to wet fabric to avoid concentrated reaction zones that can weaken fibers. Now here's exactly how to do it. Step 1. Buy a bag of sodium percarbonate from a chemical supplier, a bulk grocery store, a zero-waste refill shop, or an online retailer. Look for purity above 90%. Some products sold as oxygen cleaners contain fillers that reduce active ingredient content. A 1 kilogram bag costs $2 to $4 and replaces approximately 6 to 8 standard-sized boxes of branded oxygen cleaner. Store the powder in an airtight container away from moisture. A sealed container maintains full activity for 12 to 18 months. Step 2. For pre-wash stain treatment, dissolve 1 tablespoon of sodium percarbonate in 2 cups of warm water, not boiling, which degrades the compound before it contacts the fabric. Immerse the stained item or apply the solution directly to the stain. Allow to soak for 30 minutes to 2 hours depending on stain severity. For dried and set stains, soak for 4 to 6 hours, or overnight. Launder as normal after soaking. Step 3. For an in-wash laundry booster, add 2 to 3 tablespoons of sodium percarbonate directly to the drum of your washing machine along with your standard detergent. Add it to the drum, not to the detergent compartment where it can clump and fail to distribute. For white fabrics, use 3 tablespoons and wash at 50 degrees Celsius or above for maximum whitening. For colored fabrics, use 2 tablespoons and wash at 40 degrees Celsius for effective stain removal and without risk of color damage. German textile mills deployed it in 1910. British hospitals standardized it in the 1930s. Professional laundries around the world have relied on it for over a century, and the chemical supplier 2 clicks away from your browser sells it for less than the cost of a cup of coffee per kilogram. $100 billion in annual laundry product revenue depends on you never reading the chemical name on the back of the $15 box you already own. $12 color-safe bleaches depend on you believing that removing a wine stain from a colored shirt requires a proprietary formula. And $14 odor eliminators depend on you never connecting the active ingredient in 5 different products under your laundry room sink to the same plain white powder available in bulk for a fraction of the cost. This knowledge did not disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared from consumer awareness because it worked too well and cost too little for anyone to sell it to you at a premium price point. Oxidation chemistry does not care about marketing budgets. Perhydroxyl anions do not negotiate with brand mascots. And a compound synthesized in 1899 has never charged a licensing fee. If this video changed how you look at the 5 different laundry products under your sink, the $15 box of oxygen cleaner in your cabinet, or the plain bag of sodium percarbonate waiting for you at a bulk supplier, then subscribe and share it now. Every single share puts this knowledge in front of someone the laundry products industry assumed would never read a chemical ingredient label, and every subscription keeps this channel digging deeper into the secrets they thought were sealed forever.